Alrighty, 5e. I understand this is probably an incredibly weird point to be starting at, but here we are. You know, gotta gotta do things a little bit differently these days. So, I'm gonna be starting at this point. I already selected everything, English, what my hair looks like, what I look like, all that good stuff. Um, if you want to know what the hairstyle is, it's the space buns because I think that that's super cute. Like it looks like you parted your hair in half, well the character or the designer, whatever, but the hair is parted in half and then it looks like it's cornrowed from the nape all the way up to the top and then like all that excess hair is just kind of bun together. And I was like, the more and more I was thinking about how you would achieve this hairstyle, the more I realized you'd need a lot of hair. Like, this isn't just like braiding your hair from top down, like easy straight backs. You would literally have to have enough hair left over to make those decent size space buns on the top, right? And it's not even also the same as just pulling your hair up, like pulling all your hair up from the back like a regular ponytail would do, for example. You're braiding that. So do I think that the developers thought that somebody was going to think about this one particular hairstyle so much? No. Did somebody? Yes, me. Hello. Hi. You can call me Dawn. This is just such an amazing hairstyle to me. We're not at the point to which I'm able to take my goddamn hat off. So, I make that fast, even though it makes no difference. Give nicknames. I'm so bad at nicknames. I stay bad at nicknames. Stay bad at nicknames, okay? And that should be it. Cool. So what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? I'm asking for you. I recently attended the 2024 Pokémon Championships in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was just inspired to try to make like a decently competitive team. Like, do I think I could go up against not only the winner nor the semifinalists, not even the top 8. My goal isn't even to challenge them with this team or a team. It's just to see if I can do it. And I suppose in theory anybody can, right? You could quite literally copy their team from start to finish. You know what I mean? Like, it's 6 Mons, you make their moves exactly the same, natures, all that good stuff. Okay, loud scene. And I wanted to try to do that. You know, like, I don't know. I kind of just want to try my hand at making like a successful, decently competitive team. I think that'd be cool. So that's what we're doing here today. I'm gonna be taking you along with me and all my thoughts of the process of how I'm gonna do that. Now you might be asking, what qualifications do you have? What research have you done? What have you even considered? The answer, my friends, not much. Not much. I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna attempt it. You know, I get like little spurts of like obsessions over activities, and this is one of them. And so like I won't be satisfied until like I've at least attempted one team of 6. There's gonna, I don't know if this is gonna be considered spoiler because this is happening a year after the game's release, over a year after the game's release, and a couple days after the finalist of the 2024 championships in Charlotte. So there's no spoilers here. The starter I'm going with is going to be, so fun fact, they all have a base stat total of 530. Obviously they're split differently depending on the mon that you choose. And I've decided to go with Fuecoco just because it won't be part of the final team. Sorry, that's probably a spoiler too, but I'm probably not going to keep you in too much of excitement, or I wonder what she's going to do next, at least not for now. But I kind of wanted to go ahead and just like clarify that, because while I will be using Fuecoco, obviously for the beginning of the game, and because like you have to, it's, I don't foresee 530 as a full base stat total being enough. And if you're wondering, back to that question, oh, well, what research have you done? What studying have you done? And the answer being none, I'm going to take that back and say incredibly minimum, right? So I've got Skeledirge, because obviously you want the final evolution stat total up, and I'm comparing it to one Pokemon that is on darn near every competitive team. You know him, you love him, and that's EM. That's like apostrophe EM, not like him, because it's a paradox Pokemon, so it has no gender. We're going to use the ever so lovely Fluttermane. Now, Fluttermane has a base stat total of 570. That's not to say that Skeledirge couldn't do some damage to it, because it could. It could, considering that it's, 2 times weak to Ghost, and Skeledirge, being part Ghost type, can probably hit it pretty hard. Defensively, it would have to be. So we're talking maybe a Shadow Claw. A couple Shadow Claws could deal with it, because its special defense is through the roof, if we're being honest. And so I'm just using Fluttermanes. I'm going to actually multitask here. Come here. Got caught up. With Fluttermane having the base stat total that it is, and me really just seeing how many teams that it was on, even when it didn't get used, I've kind of just decided to use it as like my base mon to build a team around, and not necessarily to beat it. I mean, obviously that would be the goal if I came up against one, but I don't foresee it being too much of a problem. Rather, the mon whose base stat total I want to try to match, if not go past, to not succeed, if you will. So Skeledirge doesn't quite cut it. It's a little low. What is that, 40 points? What did I say, 530 to 570? 40? Yeah. So, but the plan is to at least get the mons that would be competitively viable. Have I made this team up in my head yet? Not fully. Not a lot. But we're gonna try. I'm gonna bring you along with my process of doing that. So, and I believe we do have to, and I believe one of the main parts where we're going to be finding one of these mons is 100% going to be Area 0. Just because that's where a lot of them would be at as well. But yes. Whoop, okay. Let me full on grab my controller. Hello? Am I drifting? No, never mind. I'm just not using my controller like I should. So we're going to be kind of speeding through some of these, only really dealing with what we need as we need. Oops. Sorry if that's really loud in the background. Okay, silence is over. Sorry. Slightly also trying to figure out exactly what my team is going to look like in the end, to see if it's like a team that would, that would work. That'd be good. That would bring down the competition. I'm definitely gonna try to see if some of my favorites, because base stat totals never really made it never really made much of a difference to me. I'm a casual player. Like I play to have fun. I play to play the game. But to just see like people go against each other was eye-opening. You know what? The director and Lil Quacky here deserve each other. Like if I genuinely had to put like your character that you play as, Nimona, and the director, like if I had to choose Pokemon for all of them, obviously the director gets Quaxley because they just look so good together. I don't know what it is, they just look right together. I guess I don't really want to give Nimona Meowscarada because I think Meowscarada is actually my favorite starter out of the three, but the little green in her hair is giving I might as well have the grass starter, which gives your player the Skeledirge in the end, which I don't think is too bad. Like, if we're being honest, in most games, picking the fire type just makes things easier for you. I guess, except for like Diamond and Pearl, it's not great to choose like Chimchar. But in like the remakes, it gets like power up punch, right? So I guess if you're just going for straight up just the first gym in Diamond and Pearl, but otherwise, oh well, you know, sorry, actually in Hoenn, Roxanne, the rock type gym leader, I don't think Torchic gets anything good before her. I think. I don't think. I'm definitely going to be trying to slot some of my favorite mons into this battle, or into this team, of course. I think I revealed it in one video at one point that like Bronzong is actually my favorite mon, and I honestly and truthfully never had a favorite Pokemon before. Like never. I loved them all, you know. Some more than others, but it was like a generic love. Like when when parents have multiple kids and the parents are just like, we love you all equally, you know. But then at times, like, some will do something that'll make the parents a bit more happy. Some will do things that'll upset the parents a little bit, and that's just how I felt about all Pokemon. Like, I love you all equally. Some of you were just born to suck, and some of you were just born to be great. But I love you all equally. You all win me the game against the champion every time. So my favorite part was how I said Bronzong is my favorite Pokemon, so I kind of want to try to slot it onto the team. Let me tell you something. That baby, base stat total, 500. 500. I'm 100% going to put a graphic on the screen as I'm explaining as much as I can, if it makes sense and if it works. But yeah, 500. So a little not great. A little not great. Obviously Bronzong is definitely going to be your more defensive, which is why I think if it's ever used, it's like your Trick Room, Light Screen, Reflect setup, and then potentially something for healing or stalling is what you'd probably do. It does get Stealth Rock, so I'm thinking you send it out, you Trick Room, Stealth Rocks, you know? But that's just me, because it is incredibly slow. Like, you're not going before anybody for the most part. So I kind of want to, though. And then if it comes to as far as which ability I would prefer, I'm thinking Levitate. Heat Proof is good. So like its two abilities are like, you know, Levitate and Heat Proof, and they're both really good. One of them doesn't necessarily, well, actually I would argue Levitate is better because it makes you completely immune to ground type moves, but Heat Proof just makes the damage from fire type moves not hit you as hard. And the burn status is just like halved. So instead of your attack going down by half, it would just go down by like what, a fourth? But you would still take some decent damage. I mean, like, especially if we're talking, I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's physical or special because Bronzon's like base defenses are exactly the same. But I mean, just like, I'm thinking Fire Blast, right? Like, even just like a Fire Blast could hit you still just like really hard. A flamethrower if you want to go for more accuracy, you know, which I feel like for some competitive teams, they kind of just take that risk and go for more power rather than accuracy. But I could be wrong. I haven't watched too many championships. Not gonna lie, they used to bore me. Because I would much rather sit there and play the game than watch others play it. And then the older I got, the more it became not more fun, but just fun. I started to enjoy watching competitors play more. I wouldn't trade playing the game myself for watching someone play necessarily, but I definitely do like watching it now more than I did. Am I going the right way? Yeah. So I am going to choose Levitate just because having that complete immunity, in my opinion, is better than just taking less damage. You know? That's just me though. Again, heat proof is great. Heat proof is not bad. But if I have heat proof, somebody can hit me with an earthquake and a fire blast. At least I'm only gonna get hit by the fire blast. Trying to take the small wins where we can find them because Bronzong is gonna need it. I also feel like Bronzong would only be for like doubles. You know what? New idea. What if I did and make a team for singles and a team for doubles? Obviously the championships are more centered around doubles. So that's where Bronzong is actually going to shine in this team somehow, some way. Don't worry about it. I'm working on it. And then in a singles, we are 100% going to work on that. If I get stuck or confused or you look at me like, hey, why aren't you actively doing better? This is like I've only finished this game twice in the over a year that it's been available. So, oops. I am going to edit out that little part of me getting a notification that somebody is online just because I don't have permission to let the internet know that some people are like online. I can't let the YouTube internet know that a friend on Switch internet is connected. You know what I mean? It's two different internets. You know? It's like one internet is more private than the other. You get it. You get it. As a gamer to gamer, gamer to gamer, gamer to gamer. You get it. And I don't have permissions. I'm not sharing anybody's stuff or anybody's username. Clearly I did it wrong, but I swore. Like, Girl Scout, I swore I had those notifications turned off before I started this, but here they are. It's fine. I'll figure it out later. It's so scary. I wonder if it's possible. It has to be, right? I'm thinking in my head and out loud at the same time. I'm wondering like if it's possible to be able to train two teams in one game, in one playthrough. I feel like if you're just training, like, just like getting EVs from wild Pokemon, then 100%. But if you want like fast experience, you'd like just train with the trainers. I'm gonna do some research on this. Like, how do people start building teams? I'm just winging it here. I'm a casual just winging it. I tried my hand at a like a challenge, slightly not like a hardcore Nuzlocke, because I don't do that enough. I don't like practice those enough. So I'll be like losing like I'll start off and be like, you know what, this is a hardcore Nuzlocke, and any Pokemon that faints, permabox, never using it again. Kid you not, I get into the first battle, lose them on. I'm like, never mind. Skirt, listen, actually, I meant I can't use it for the rest of the battle. Perma locked into the team for the rest of the battle, so you know, we're gonna call this practice. If you've made it this far and you have no idea, look, I feel like I never noticed that Houndour up there on my first playthrough. I know I didn't, because I was looking at everything else. I was looking at this little flying lizard friend. I missed the doggo up there, just staring me down. Gotta love him. Love Houndour. Love Houndour. I remember I was talking about Houndour one time, and I was like, Houndour, I'm sorry, that is a Houndoom. Who was gonna correct me? Nobody. Sorry, mixed up. Anyway, Houndoom, gonna actually sorry, I'm still laughing at how many times I called it a Houndour and it's a Houndoom. Houndoom is a very fun Pokemon to face up against when you're just playing like the regular old vanilla games, because in my personal opinion, I feel like Houndoom is always the Pokemon that you're facing that's gonna be like 3 levels higher than like your highest level Pokemon, and it's got great moves on it. So you're like, oh my god, I'm facing up against a Houndoom. This thing is scary. You know, Dark Pulse, Flamethrower, Nasty Plot, and then just whatever else for the fun of it. You know, like you have to face up against it, and you're like, this thing is scary, because it's always so high leveled, even though it's actually really, really frail. And then you use one on your team because it's adorable. You know, little devil dog is real cute. And you find out that it's good at attacking, can't take a hit, and not the best switching. You know, you don't want to swap it out into a hit. It'll, unless it's something super effective, it can take it and it'll hit first because it's so fast, just naturally. But that just then becomes the problem. Like you're hitting for decent damage, just not great damage. But this isn't a Houndoom rant about how, I'm not gonna call it mediocre, but how regular it is. This is a Houndoom stan channel. Other stands, Bronzong, obviously. Feraligatr is a big one for me. If you type in Feraligatr stan on Twitter, you'll find me. Maybe if I haven't plugged in my actual She Moves at Dawn Twitter that I definitely have created somewhere, you'll find a Feraligatr stan, because I feel like Feraligatr is great. I genuinely feel like it has so much potential. Like, it's a good, strong physical water type that gets, honestly, out of all 3 of the Johto starters, I personally think the best moveset. Like, they did Typhlosion dirty in its first moveset. Like, I guarantee you, unless you're like doing a whole bunch of trading or switching or hacking, excuse me, I had a hack in my throat. You have like Swift on your Typhlosion till like the very end of the game, and that's tragic, you know. And it's just got such good special attack. It's just purely wasted. Like, its moveset is just such a waste on it. But honestly, you give it a good moveset and it's great. I don't think that Typhlosion is able to shine as far as like easily getting TMs on it and it being like a probably a like monster of a Pokemon would, my opinion, be which came out first, Sword and Shield or the DP remakes? I think Sword and Shield came out first, and then it was the Diamond and Pearl remakes, because it's definitely Sword and Shield first. So Sword and Shield. I was gonna say Diamond and Pearl because like you have a better access to better TMs, but Sword and Shield gives you the ability to like, learn moves that you used to know. And I think that one might be in Typhlosion's set. I could be wrong though. But just base vanilla game, they do Typhlosion dirty. Meganium has a really good, it's got a really good moveset for the support Pokemon that it's supposed to be. If you can fit it onto your team for like support, I think it does really great, especially because it's so goddamn bulky. It's a thick one. And then for Alligator, I feel like is the middle, like it hits really hard. It's got a pretty decent moveset too, but it's not the greatest. It doesn't get a lot for what it needs, if that makes sense. Like it's not, his head looks like a Greedent. Sorry. It's good at what it does. Typhlosion used to be my favorite, and then I really looked at everything and I was like, hello for Alligator. So as you all are probably just like reading what's on the screen, I'm actually going through the Johto starters stats, and for Alligator is definitely is a decently fast, decent hitter. It's got like good attack and defense. Typhlosion's got good speed and special attack. Meganium I think is just more defensive. I haven't checked looking actively now. Yeah, good defense and actually pretty fast. I think it's funny that you level up in your first fight against Nemona, so you're automatically going to be stronger than this guy if you don't fight anything else. But granted, it's like a solo vet, so you're not going to have to try too hard. I feel like, unfortunately, Greedent was one of those Pokemon that I genuinely think that there are just some Pokemon that are made for the aesthetics of them. Like, Greedent doesn't get a whole lot of, like, merchandise, like the plushies and such, but I think it's such a waste, because it's cute. Don't get me wrong, it's a fat squirrel. Because I'm just like, if you're gonna make a Pokemon that not great, at least give it some good merch, Same with Lumineon. Lumineon gets done dirty. This just turned to a video of me talking about my opinions on Pokemon. You know what? That's the new thing. New thing for me. Just ranting about my opinions on Pokemon. Lumineon is very pretty. The only place that Lumineon shines is the BDSP games. When you see it for like the first time on your way to Victory Road and like one swimmer has it, and when you fight her in the daytime, the way that the light just reflects off of it, it's beautiful. Lumineon is actually a gorgeous mon, and I do genuinely feel like it should have merch. There's like none out there. I genuinely think that maybe something like a nightlight, what else would be cute? Maybe like one of those let's say the Luminion is like the tea candle holder. So it's like the holder, right? And then you put one of those little tea lamps, tea lights. Tea lights, we're gonna call it a tea light, the little candle that you put inside of it. And you put that inside of it and it just glows. It makes like some of the more see-through parts of it, like it's the top of its body glow. Anyway, point is, it would be so pretty. Like, I genuinely think that it deserves good merch, because it's not a great mon. There's so much text in this game. I find the baseline of this game, like not considering the text, to have pretty good replay value. I think for me, the replay value comes from the story and the mon and the Pokemon that you have access to. This game has a lot of text, so that kind of kills it a little bit. But the access that you have to different Pokemon and to make different teams is great to me, because it changes up your outcome of your game just about every single time, right? I just think it's wild. I think it's great. How about one more battle and then we'll end things off. This video's getting a little long. I'm trying to think, what was my very first team that I played with? I don't really play with a Flamigo. The first time I played this game, it started up on launch day. I added a Flamigo to my team because I was like, oh my god, it's a Flamingo Pokemon. And I loved it from start to finish. You know, you ever have a team and there's always like the one or two Pokemon that you can count on to like finish a battle or help out whenever you're just kind of struggling? For me, in my very first team of this game, it was Flamigo. I would always turn to it whenever I was like in a bit of a pickle. So it has a very, very very special place in my heart. She's gonna start talking. Okay, but this is where we get access to like Poke Portal and such. So, not mad. Lots of materials. I should probably focus on learning what to do with these. I'm such a battle person. I don't super focus on like the sandwiches and the mini games and things like that. So I kind of just nice. I kind of just focus on the other stuff. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate the time that you spent with me. I had fun. I hope you did too. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye.